In today's tutorial, we're going to work on the hands full crochet mittens. The title of this video is the size that we're going to be working on today. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on this beautiful pattern. This is called the hands full crochet mittens. Comes in 3 sizes, and in the starting of today's video I'm just going to do a quick pattern review, and then we're going to jump to the size that's indicated in the video title. So all of the intros are going to be the same for all 3 sizes because we have to go and look at everything that is the same with each one of the sizes, but then once we actually do the stitch work we're going to then look at each individual size and work our way through this pattern. So let's do a quick pattern review. So in today's pattern it comes in many different sizes. We have all the way from 2 to 4, 8 to 10, and then adult, and it's a mathematical calculation based on the growth of your hands. So you're gonna notice that there's colors. So we have like a fuchsia, yellow, and a green here. So anytime there's a decision to be made we can see that in the pattern here, which I'll explain. So one ball of Caron 1 pounder can make 8 pairs of mittens for the the smallest size 2 to 4, can make 6 pairs of mittens for the next size up 8 to 10 years old, and it can make 4 pairs of mittens for the adult size, just like this. So that's kind of a neat thing. So most of the new patterns by yarnspirations.com has a color code, and you can see 2 to 4, 8 to 10, and adult, and you see that this is the size. So all of the instructions are provided with that. So whenever you see a bracket like this, so if you're working on, for example, let's say we're gonna do the 8 to 10 years, we're gonna say with the main color, MC is main color, and you can see that in the description, is that you have to chain 12. Okay, do you see that? So every time you're going to make a decision, so what I would do if I were you and you or me, every time a decision needs to be made I would go through the pattern in advance and go and look at it. So anytime there's a dimension, so for example it says you need to keep working until it's 5 inches based on that size, and again you're looking for the color codes. So when there's no color codes in a set of instructions just like you see here, you just follow it as it says. So some of the instructions when we see these in other patterns is that there is no color code because that's just what it means. So let's look up here real quick, and it says work the number of single crochets evenly around. So for the 8 to 10 years it's 22, and then you just keep on going. So round number 2 here there is no color coding at all. So this is the same instruction for all of the sizes, and then it says repeat the second round, and then you see 1, 1, or 2. Again, look at the color code for you to be able to do that. So this is a really neat pattern, and it's really not hard to do, and I made a note that the tails are on the left. So let me tell you a little bit about that, because this is about understanding where to stop when you're doing the cuff area. So here's the smallest size cuff that we have, and this is for the 2 to 4 years of size, and I had to work in advance to get this done. So you'll see where this is here. See this tail? You want to finish in your opposite to it, just like this. Okay? So when you go to start the next round or the next set of instructions, it will appear like this. Okay? So you're gonna start on the right side here, and the tail is over here, right on this side. So you just want to pay attention to that. And what I would do if you were me and I were you, I would get 2 balls of Caron 1 pounder and do the cuffs at the same time without fastening this off, and then just do them. So that the fact is that you can lay this cuff over top of another cuff and get them done. So I would really be interested in doing that. So here is the size that we have for the 2 to 4 years, and what's gonna happen with this cuff is that we're gonna turn it in order to make it. So if you lay the cuffs on top of each other like I did here, you will be guaranteed that your cuffs will be the same size. Again, that's a personal choice, that's up to you. So just out of interest, I have to work ahead of time when I do a tutorial, so I did all the cuffs in advance, and I'll show you how to do the cuffs. They're really quite easy. So this is the 2 to 4 years of size, and this is the 8 to 10, and this is the adult. So by the time you flip it up and fold it, you can see what the wrist size is for the difference. So you can see when you fold these that they're much different than each other when you go to do it. So this is how I did it, and it was just made it a lot easier. So if I was to do a second pair I would actually do the cuff again with another ball of yarn, and then I would lay it over top, make sure that they match completely so that you are guaranteed that the cuff is the same size. Again, that's completely up to you. So without further ado, you need a 4.5 millimeter US size 11, or sorry, US size 7, and what we're gonna be doing today is that we're going to be working on the pattern that's indicated in the video tutorial today. So let's move on. So let's begin today's tutorial. We're going to work on the cuff, and this is going to be 2 to 4 years of age, and you're going to need a ball of Caron 1-pounder for this. So let's begin doing the 8 to 10-year-old cuff, and we just finished this. This is now 5 inches, and see where this tail is? This is where you need to finish off. So look at it from a diagonal point of view. So we're going to now make this cuff into a reality of making it so it wraps around the child's wrist, and all we're just going to do then is just fold it in half. And what you want to do is look for the foundation chain on this side and the back loops on this side. So we're going to go right into the back loops of the first one over here, and then going into the first stitch over here. So it's just the 2 strands here, the foundation, and you want to slip stitch. So you want to pull through and through. So you want to move down your entire cuff. So you're just going to go into the back loops on this side and then the 2 on the foundation and just pull through. And you're going to work your way all the way down the cuff. So let me just speed up. And this is creating a uniform look that you want. So because you are watching your stitch counts, you will have the same stitch counts on both sides of this as you fold it in half. And if you don't, that means you might have dropped something. So it's important that you actually count occasionally once you're doing that stitches going all the way across when you go back and forth to do the cuff, so that when you fold it here it works out to be looking the same. So I got 2 more left. So this is 1 and 2, just like there, and coming into the final. So this is it. So now you've just attached. You're not going to fasten off at all. You're just going to keep on going, and you can see that this looks uniform going down in the cuff. So let's move along, and we're going to start doing the wrist area next. So I've just tucked that straggler out of the way for now, so it's out of my way. And what we want to do then is that you see that I was going like this and attaching things together. I haven't fastened off, and now I'm going to go around this rim right here. So what I need to do is that I need to get 22 stitches equally around this. So if I was to look at it from a half point of view, I have to get 11 stitches in by the half and then another 11 on the other side. So to begin, you're just going to chain up 1. And coming into the near to the same spot, you're gonna just start counting. So that was 1, and you're just doing a single crochet. So you're gonna go 2 and just roughly looking at it, and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So what I want to do is flip it up. See, this is where I started. So I've got 11 halfway around, so I can get another 11 into this section over here. So let's start again. So this is 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So I got 22 all the way around, and what I want to do is just join it to the beginning single crochet that I had started with to finish off that round. So there you go. So it's now all the way around. You got 22, and that's an important number, so you got to make sure that you have that at this point. Let's begin working on round number 2. So round number 2 and 3 are going to be the same in this particular example. So it's the large size that you're going to do something slightly different. So we're going to chain up 2, and in this pattern the half double crochet or the chain 2 does not count as anything. It's more of a builder. So coming into the same stitch right underneath, you're going to do a half double crochet, and you're going to do a half double crochet in each of the single crochets all the way around. And there will be a total count of 22 if you want to count that. It's up to you. If you're confident that you're right, then you don't need to. And so I want you to half double crochet in each one all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've come up all the way around. See this one that is leaning over? People think that's a stitch, and it's not. It's part of the first one, so make sure that you don't confuse that. And if you're confused at all, just make sure you count, and you can only count 22 half double crochets going around, and then just slip stitch it to the top at the beginning. So let's do one more round of that. So we're going to chain up 2. Remember, it doesn't count as anything. Coming into the same stitch underneath, and you're going to half double crochet yourself all the way around once again. I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm just getting into my last stitch as I come around. This is the second round of doing this area, and then we're going to start doing some shaping for the thumb next. So this seam line that you're going to have is actually going to work onto the outside of your hand. or like that, or of a child's hand. So let's begin. We're gonna do shaping of the gusset. So we're now going to shape the thumb, and we need to create space for the thumb in order to happen. So as your hand expands outward, we're gonna go from a thin wrist here as your hand goes out towards the thumb. So it's gonna stay flat more on this side and gonna expand on the thumb side. These gloves are right or left. They're not designed for either or. It's just a matter of just whatever hand you put them on. So we're going to chain 2. Remember, it doesn't count as anything, and we need to make that space. So for the next 10 half double crochets, or the next 10 stitches, it's gonna be 10 half double crochets. So coming straight in, let's count those out together. So we got 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. So you got 10. So if you want to double count, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The next 2 stitches that you're gonna run into is gonna be 2 half double crochets each. So 1 and 2. So do the next one like same way, 1 and 2. And you don't need to count to come back to the other side, so just continue to go 1 half double crochet all the way back to the start of the round. So it's just really easy, that one. And let's just get you to the end of this one here. Just like that, and come to the very last one here, and you want to slip stitch it to the beginning half double crochet. So that was round number 1 of doing the thumb gusset. So let's go round number 2. So round number 2, we're gonna make even more space. So you're gonna see that it's gonna start expanding on the opposite side of the slip stitch, so right over here. And so we're gonna start up again and chain 2. So the first 10, starting with the first one, is going to be a half double crochet again. So let's count those out together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you got your 10 in here. You can double count if you want to. The next one is gonna be 2 half double crochets into the same one, and then the next 2 are gonna be by themselves. So just 1 half double crochet in the next 2, and then the next one after that is gonna be 2 into that same one. So 1 and 2. So the remaining one of this round then is that each one is just gonna have 1 half double crochet right back to the beginning. So a slip stitch when you get back there, and let's start the next round after that. Okay, I've come all the way back around, and now we're ready for round number 3. So round number 3, we're going to chain 2 again, and again the first 10 is gonna be 1 half double crochet each. So 1, let's count those out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this time now the next one is gonna be 2 half double crochets into the same one. So 1 and 2, and then this time the next 4 are gonna be by themselves. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next one is gonna have 2 into the same one. So 1 and 2, and then you're just gonna do the remaining then as half double crochets, and I'll meet you back, do your slip stitch, and we'll start the next round from that point. So I'm now all the way back, and I slip stitched, and I'm ready for the next one. On page number 1 you're gonna see the next set of instructions says size addle only for another round of making room for the thumb. You can see that this is not one of them. So we're doing the 8 to 10 years of age. So there's no more that you need to do to shape this thumb. So what we're gonna do now is that we're going to create the thumb hole that exists. So we need to make that space so that we can get our thumb through the project. For this round we're going to need a stitch marker. So just grab some spare yarn. We need to mark a stitch so that we know where to join the thumb later on in this project when we get to the thumb. So let's create that that thumb space. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna chain up 2. So 1 and 2, and we're gonna place a half double crochet in each of the next 11. So let's begin. So we're gonna start right in the first one. So let's do 11 together. So 1, 2, and oops, I missed one. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now watch what I do. So you got 11 here, you're gonna chain 2, 1 and 2, but watch what happens. What I want to do is that I want to push a stitch marker right into the spot right here. This is going to be where we're going to join in the future. Okay, so let's just put that in there. It's just going to hold it, get it out of the way. Okay, so have most of it just go in the inside here so it's out of your way. And then what we want to do is that we want to skip so many stitches to make room for a thumb. So what we have to do is we have to skip 6 stitches. So coming back down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and go to the 7th and start half double crocheting the remaining of the round that you have left. Okay, so this has just created that thumb spot. So you're just gonna half double crochet in each, and now that your mitts are gonna get quicker to make because you've just eliminated 6 stitches out of your rotation when you go around. So that's just gonna get faster for you. So just half double crochet yourself back to the beginning and then join it with a slip stitch, and then we're gonna move on in the set of instructions. So right there, and then just join it to the top of the beginning half double crochet. So now what we have here is we have a space for the thumb just like you see here. So now what we got to do is thicken up this line a little bit more before we can say that it's nice and done. So what we have to do for this round, you can either count it or you can trust in yourself, and maybe you want to count it the first time you go through it. So you're gonna chain up 2, doesn't count as anything, and in the next 11 it's gonna be a half double crochet. But I will tell you that it will take you, and you can count this out if you want to, is that it will take you right to where that chain 2 is. Okay, so let's just count that out. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I got 4 done so far. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Look at that. See, you're right on that last one before you hit this chain 2. So what you want to do in the chain 2, you want to come right in. So you're just gonna half double crochet. Make sure you get 2 strands on the top to really secure that. So 1, and this is the second one where you got that stitch marker in. Make sure you don't grab any of the plies of that stitch marker when you go to do that. Try to get 2 strands that are on the upside. Okay, so you don't want to go into a space, you just want to go in there. So once you get that done, you then carry on around for the remaining of this. So you don't need to count it, you just go right back to the very beginning once again. So this concludes off this round. So slip stitch when you get there, and I'll see you on the next round. So at this point in the tutorial, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do half double crochets around, and we're gonna continue to build up. So when do you stop? So you got the thumb on the other side right here. Okay, just right there, and what we're gonna do is circle around the top, and you need to keep circling until you get to 4.5 inches in the height from the cuff. So right from the cuff area, there it is. So right where I'm measuring right here, I have to continue to circle around, and what I think I need to do is probably 3 more revolutions of that to get to 4.5 inches, and then once I get there, then we're gonna start shaping the top of this. So it's really not a hard thing to do when you're going to do it. So grab your tape measure, measure up, and then of course then stop here, and I will show you then. So just continue along then. So just chain up 2, and then just put in 1 half double crochet in each all the way around, and continue to do that until it measures 4.5 inches, and then I'll see you back at that point, and I'll show you how to start shaping. Okay, my 4.5 inches are now done from the base here to where I am right now, and we're gonna start shaping the top. So the shaping of the top is really quite easy. So there's a set of instructions for 2 rounds of shaping top, and then we have to do 1 more round. If you see in the instructions, it says 6 to 8 is carrying on. So what we have here is, so we're now gonna start shaping the top, and we're doing the 8 to 10 years of age, and let's continue. So we're just gonna chain 2, and we're now gonna start getting smaller to do a nice rounded top. So the next, what we need to do is the next 4 have to be a half double crochet. So we're gonna just do that. So 4 in a row, 1 half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the next 2 are gonna be together. So how we do that is wrap, and going into the next stitch, pull through, wrap, next stitch, pull through. You got 5 loops on the hook, pull through all 5. So now you want to do the next 4. So here's the repeat pattern. So the next 4 by themselves. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next 2 are together. So continue that same idea going all the way around to finish off this round. If your math is done right, the final 2 stitches that you have will be 2 together. So my math is right. I have been consciously counting, and I just put those 2 together, and then you just join it to the top of the first half double crochet. That concludes off the round number 1 of shaping of the top. So let's do round number 2. So round number 2 we're gonna start decreasing even more. So we're gonna chain up 2, and it says 1 half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So we're just gonna do 3 in a row. So 1, 2 and 3, and then the next 2 are together. So just folding it out there, put those 2 together. That's a half double crochet 2 together, and then again 3 in a row. So 1, 2 and 3, just like that, and then put the next 2 together. Please do that same idea going all the way around. If you've done your math right, the final 2 will be 2 together. So it's just a matter of keeping in balance with the pattern. So no big deal. So that means that the pattern is working. Okay, so let's carry on, and it says 6 to 8 years old. So let's carry on. We're gonna do the 8 to 10 and adult size in round 3. This did not exist when we did the smaller size of the 2 to 4 years of age. So let's begin. We're going to chain up 1 and 2. So chain up 2 and 1 half double crochet in the next 2. So 1 and 2, just like you see here. And then what we're gonna do then is that it says half double crochet the next together. So we're gonna half double crochet 2 together, and then the next 2 are gonna be by themselves. So 1 and 2, and then the next 2 are together. So please do that same pattern going all the way around. As I get back around, the last 2 are going to be 2 together, and that's just a matter of keeping in the counts. So it doesn't so it means that everything is perfect. So let's just join it to the top of the beginning. So that's it. So what we're gonna do now is that we're just gonna have a small hole that's left in the top here. We want to leave an extra long strand here of string or of yarn, and what we want to do is that we want to grab a darning needle, and we want to grab it and close that off. So we're just gonna pull this through, and we're gonna use a darning needle and feed that yarn through it. And what we have to do is that we have to close off the very top of this mitten. So you're just gonna go in your stitches just right across like a whip stitch, and I like to just put them all in, and I'm just going 1 into every stitch. And what we're gonna do at the end is that we're gonna pull on it, and this is gonna pull that whole middle shut on you. So I go right back to where I started, and what I'm just gonna do now is that I'm just gonna hold it, and it's gonna pull everything nice and tight to the top. So just gonna bring them all in, and all I wanna do then, see you got a nice rounded off top now, is that you just wanna glide it in and out of the stitches. So I might just tie a quick little knot that's really, I'm just more of a placeholder. So I'm just gonna put it through this loop, and it will lock onto itself, and then if I just feed it in and out 3 times, I can safely cut that. So 1, so going back in another path but in the other direction for 2, and then in the other direction for 3, just like that. So now that's it. So now you have a nice rounded off edge, and we still have the thumb to worry about unless you don't want to do a thumb, but this is what it looks like at the top, nice and rounded here, and here's your thumb, and these are right or left, it doesn't matter, it depends on what hand you put it on. And let's begin to do the thumb next. So let's begin to do the thumb. I want you to create a slip knot with your yarn that you're working with, and I want you to turn the mitten upside down so that you're looking from the top to the cuff, and I want you to fold it out like this, and I want you to look for that stitch marker that we had placed. We're gonna be going in this revolution, so the stitch marker is on this side of the hole. So there's gonna be a total of 6 loops here, and then there are 6 stitches here that we skipped, and then there's gonna be a total of 2 here that we did. So right where that place marker is where we're going to start. So let's put this on, and I want to go in right where that stitch marker is, and I want to fasten on this yarn. So I can pull this out now because I just put it in there, and I want to fasten it on with the slip stitch just like this, and I want to chain 2, and I want half double crochet into that same spot, and I'm gonna half double crochet into the next spot here, which is the chain. Okay, it's the other chain. There's only 2 here. Remember how we chained 2? So now what we're gonna do is that we're going to work away at the base. So see this strand? I can actually just get that out now. And I have 6 stitches along here. So okay, so let's just carry on. And so you're just gonna do a half double crochet, and I would count them to make sure you got it right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is that you can either just go down and just do this, or you see this is gonna create a gap. So what I would do, this is not as per the pattern, but you're gonna have a gap here unless you want to sew it later. So what you can do is that you can put 2 together right here. We gotta make sure that we keep our counts of 8 going all the way around. So what you can just do is put this in the side of this stitch here, pull through. So you're gonna do like a 2 together half double crochet, put it in there, and put it into the first one of there. And then that will close everything off for you instead of you having to sew. So that was one of sorry, that was 3 of 8. So this is gonna be 4 and 5, 6, and then 7, and the same thing. So you got one more here, and you got a side here, so put the last 2 together. This is not as per the pattern, this is per me. And put those together with the half double crochet 2 together, and then that'll fill in that gapping space so that you don't have that. And then just join it to the top of the first half double crochet that you started with. So that saves you a little bit of sewing. It's a little extra tip for you. So let's begin the next round. So let's begin our next round. We have 8 stitches that are going around, so we're gonna chain up 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to come into the first one, and you're gonna half double crochet, and you're gonna half double crochet yourself into every stitch going around. There's only 8. So I would count it just to make sure you got it right, especially if you're doing 2. So 1 and 2, and then just 3, this is 4, so I'm halfway around. We have 5, and we have 6, 7, and 8. So there you go. So you got 8 all the way around, and what I want to do is then join it to the top of the first half double crochet that I did. So now we have to look at our pattern, and we have to determine how long are we gonna make the thumb. So let's take a look at that. So with our pattern, it says that the thumb is gonna be 1.5 inches from where we joined the thumb. So let's just take 1.5 inches here on the measuring tape here, right there. And what I want to do is just measure how much it is. So it's just gonna be one more round for me, and then we're gonna then just shape off the top of this. So do one more round of half double crochets. There's only 8, and then we'll see you back here with just finishing it off. So chain up 2, 1 half double crochet into each, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. Okay, so now I just slip stitched to the beginning half double crochet, and now I'm ready to finish this off. So what I want to do is we're going to begin to finish this off and putting 2 stitches together all the way around. So chain up 2, and the first stitch and the next one are gonna be 2 together half double crochet, and you're gonna continue to do that all the way around. So every 2 stitches are gonna become 1. So if you had 8 in this, it's gonna become 4, and then we're gonna take our strand and we're going to tie it off kind of like the way we did the top of the mitt. So every 2 stitches are together, so that means that there's gonna be a total of 4 stitches left by the time you get all the way around. It's gonna get tight as you do this, but that's okay. You don't want any unseen gaps as you do this. And then the final one. Okay, and then we're just gonna join to the top of the first one that you started with. So it's really tight in there, and that's a good thing. And what we're gonna do then is that we're gonna finish it off. So using scissors, just cut and pull this out. Okay, and you're gonna see that there's gonna be a very small hole right in the top of the thumb here, and grab that darning needle that you had. Okay, and what I want to do is just gather these stitches on the top. There's only going to be 4. And this is really tight in the top as it is, so this is a good thing. So once you get all 4 in, just give it a good tug. There you go. And then just go across it. So go up and over. You want to take your time in doing this. You know, your child is going to be wearing this thing. So, you know, it's nice to say as adults that we treat things with respect. But you know, when you get into a snowball fight, the last thing you're worrying about is wrecking your gloves. And I know that from experience. So you're just gonna go in and out 3 times once you're satisfied with this. So just stay toward the outside of the stitches. So the project can never bend or stretch in 3 different directions at one time. So you want, oh, I almost got myself. You want to make sure that it's in there nice and tight and good. So this will never fall out on a child or become a choking hazard in any way. There you go. So this is how you would do your mitts, and then you can just shape accordingly. One thing that you get done. There you go. So in the event that you have any gapping spaces here in the thumb, just grab a spare piece of string and just going in. So I got a little bit of a gap right here, and so what you can just do, and this is what I would do for me, is just going in with a hook. This does happen. You know, we like to think that we're all perfect, but this does happen, and just pull through, and this will pull nice and tight together. Okay, and then what I would do is then put this into a darning needle, both of these separately, and just weave them in and out. You may think it's cheating, but you know what, you got to do what you got to do. Are you gonna really frog your whole thing because you did that? It does happen. And you know, the whole point of tutorial work is that nobody's ever perfect, and if I ever showed you tutorials that were always perfect and you're not perfect, it's quite deceptive on, you know, the learning experience on how you can fake things if you have to. So just pulling it in and out, and then grabbing the other one, just putting it into darning needle as well. So I don't know, I suspect people will say that I'm kind of cheating the system by doing this, but this is what I would do. It's I'm not kidding you. Just you got to do what you got to do as a crafter in order to get things to be right, and sometimes you got to fake it or make it. So therefore it's nice and closed in. A child doesn't have to worry about snow going into that crack, and again, it's something that you can decide that's for yourself. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Enjoy your new pair of mittens.